We're recording. Can you talk?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we are doing our first video podcast with the entire setup featuring Lou. And yeah. How are you today?
I'm splendid. How are you? He's not doing okay. Oh.
See, that's the part where like the camera zooms in into my face. And that's a meme right there. Is that what the kids say nowadays?
Memes? Memes are around when you were around. What are you trying to say?
That's not necessarily true.
Yes, it is.
No, that's not necessarily true.
Meme started with Vine.
Vine was even like after I graduated high school.
Vine wasn't even a thing when I was little.
I graduated high school in 2012, and I think that's when Vine just got started or just became like extremely popular.
I never understood Vine, but then Vine became Musical.ly, and then Musical.ly became TikTok.
That was the evolution of it?
Well, they're not from the same company, but like that's how it started, I'm pretty sure.
So how come Snapchat, where does Snapchat fit in all of that then?
I don't know. But I will say, the more that I'm getting older, I think Snapchat is so useless. It's so dumb.
I haven't used Snapchat in a long time.
Yeah, it is so dumb.
Because what? You're just sending short videos and they're like spontaneous.
It is so dumb. People still do streaks. What are you? I mean, I still do it, but I don't call it streaks. It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
But what about that Be Real thing?
Oh, Be Real? I haven't touched it in a hot minute, but Be Real's fun.
Well,
I'm nosy.
Really
I like to get to know what people are doing in their day.
But what's the difference between that and Snapchat though?
Because Be Real, it's like a set amount of time. It's like a set time every day that it goes off for everyone, and you take a picture and you show it shows your back camera and your front camera what you're doing. Oh. So it's like a nice like catch up. Like, what are you doing in this moment? I'm nosy, so I like to know what people are doing.
There was this this guy Casey Neistat.
This guy Casey Neistat. He's like a freaking billionaire.
He launched this company called Beam way back when, and it was supposed to be kind of like Be Real, where you're supposed to hold the phone next to your chest or something, camera facing away from you, and it's supposed to snap. It's supposed to capture like the IRL moment of that time or something like that. So it's like the same thing, but I think he sold it to CNN.
CNN?
Yeah, CNN bought it.
The news company?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know. Sometimes I follow that.
Can we talk about the good deed that I did today? I came to work like 2 hours ago, and I brought my boss a Red Bull because I was so nice.
That was very nice of you.
The good deed I was doing.
That was incredibly nice of you.
I'm such a good employee. I should get a raise.
Okay.
Speaking of that,
you're implying that I don't pay you enough?
No.
Do you want to talk about how much you get paid?
You guys, I'm starting to do.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm starting to get a second job. Oh my god, the adulting is real. That college tuition is not going to pay itself, but the adulting is real. Yeah. Plus, I spend money like a Mad Hatter, so I should be getting a second job.
A Mad Hatter? I've never heard of that analogy before, but okay.
Yeah.
You know, this is interesting because I've never done I've done a video podcast once before, but this is the first time doing it, and I'm still trying to figure out, like, obviously the setup. We're in my living room right now, and it's a freaking mess.
You look like a guy that could belong in the Sympathizer.
What is that supposed to mean?
It's just your outfit right now. You look like Major One.
Major One? Who's that again?
The guy that had the mom and he died.
Oh, so I'm the guy that died.
Well, you're giving his vibe right now. You look a lot like him now that I'm thinking about it. Your face.
Okay. First off, you're calling me fat, but whatever.
No, I'm not. What? I'm saying your outfit.
Overweight. I got a puffy face.
No, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm saying your outfit, like the blue jeans, the black shirt, the freaking cardigan.
No, Major One. If you're okay, the guy that got shot in
not everything is about the guy
that got shot in the car washing thing.
Yeah.
No, he was more of like business style. He always wore a polo tucked in. And again, this is like 70s era, so it's like...
What are you wearing right now?
Not a polo. I'm wearing a black shirt.
But it could fit like it, but it looks like it.
I guess.
Close enough.
I guess the camera doesn't pick up my Crocs.
Anyways,
okay, so let's do a Sympathizer recap. We've now finished this season.
you guys, I was so behind. I
How many
legit, watched
episodes
3
were there?
episodes. There's 7 episodes.
Okay, so we covered up to episode 3, right?
Yeah.
Because we did the first pilot, and then we did 1 and 2.
Mhm.
So technically 3 episodes. Okay, so there's 4 episodes.
Mhm.
Holy crap! So where do we even start? Well, maybe it's better to. What happened at the end of episode 3? Was it the longevity party?
I don't even remember what happened in episode 3.
I think it was the longevity party.
It was
Major
before-
one died already. Yeah, because we were talking about.
It was before the It was the director. They remember that they went to that party, a bunch of topless
Yep.
girls, and the director was like, "You should be a part of the Hamlet, the movie that we're making right now."
That's right.
And the next episode was them basically traveling to the Philippines, was it, or wherever they were?
Okay, so that's where we haven't talked about.
Yeah.
Okay, so the episode 4 then, they travel to the on-site location to actually film the movie that the director wants to do, which is Hamlet. That's the movie that they're trying to do. Okay, so let's talk about that episode.
And it was so like Robert Downey Jr. I gotta give it up to him. He actually played the part really, really well.
He did really good.
He actually did really good.
Yeah.
Because it kind of made me like hate him a little bit. I'm like, oh my god, you're doing a really, really good job.
Yeah. But in that episode 4, so they were in the Philippines.
I think it was the Philippines.
It wasn't
Was
Vietnam.
Or was it Hollywood? No, it was Hollywood.
It wasn't Vietnam.
It was
we know that.
Yeah, well, duh. But I think it was Hollywood.
Yeah.
No, it's Hollywood. I'm getting mixed up because in the end they traveled to the Philippines.
Yeah, and I remember. So in the beginning of the episode, they're on site, and the
there's
site
something
director,
in
the
my
location
mind.
director, whatever. I think they mimicked the whole village really well, but the point that they freaking missed was the people. Remember?
Yeah.
Because the people were either
Were not
Chinese.
Vietnamese.
Yeah, they were Chinese or like another type of Asian. And during the scenes where the director or the people are like, okay, action, say something in Vietnamese, but they're not they're not
Yeah.
speaking Vietnamese. So that's when Captain inserts to be like, hey, these guys aren't even Vietnamese.
But it was a really good point because it showed how blindsided society sometimes can be when it comes to Asians.
Yeah. Yeah,
Or
there's
just
that one
other-
scene with
yeah.
like the guy with like the long hair. He like crouches over to that old woman. He's like, can you just say something that sounds Vietnamese?
Oh yeah, I remember
And
that.
she's like, well, can you speak Dutch or something? And she walks away.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that they only had one like main Asian actor and his only role was to die.
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was interesting. But what was it? And then Lang, the captain's daughter, decided to tag along.
Oh, that's right. Because the captain drives to the site, and then she sneaks into like his trunk of his car or something. Mm-hmm. And the general doesn't know until later on. Mm-hmm. Because what's her name? Lang was like an aspiring.
Speaking of that relationship between her and the captain, that was a little weird.
Well, it was kind of like brother sister.
No, it wasn't. He legit grew a crush on her.
Yeah, but early in the beginning, like early in that show,
Yeah.
it was like a brother sister type thing because that's the captain or that's the general's daughter and everything. He's trying to protect her and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think he started drawing more or grew more like affection towards her because he noticed that she was getting attention from that other guy, the singer,
Yeah.
who was one of the actors.
Well, to me, I thought it was because he noticed that she was getting more mature.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Because boy behavior. Sorry.
But no, I think also in episode 4, the captain, his mother's memorial was also kind of portrayed in that site or that location.
Oh yeah, because he asked for her like one of the tombstones be dedicated to her in the movie.
Yep.
But then he also struggled with that a lot too because I remember like the director got really mad at him because that scene where Lang was like getting he got really offended by that because his mom.
Should we do trigger warnings
Sorry.
in the beginning? of
Trigger
this?
warning.
Is that the world we live in now? We have to kind of say like trigger warnings.
Trigger warning. Hey, it makes sense.
You know,
I
if this was on YouTube, wait, are we putting this on YouTube?
I don't know. What are you guys? I have no idea what we're doing with this. I'm just
Because
here
the
for
only
the ride.
Worksleeve YouTube video right now is me talking about a freaking piece of technology.
I'm just here for the ride.
But I think if it's on YouTube or other platforms, we have to like either censor out that R word or call it thing.
Well, I know there's a trigger warning behind it, and it's just like me to like to be like, what's the word? I cannot speak English the last couple of weeks. Ever since school ended, like I cannot.
Yeah, but do you know
put
what I'm
words
saying
together.
though? Like
I know
some
what you're saying.
platforms,
It's
some
like you're
platforms,
supposed
if
to,
you say the
yeah,
word,
you're supposed
then
to
they
blurt it out.
demonetize you or something like
Yeah,
that.
because it is a
It's flagged.
triggering word. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, but then
But it's
again,
also real. I'm sorry, but it's also like the society we live in right now. Like it's such a true, like I don't know. I heard this. I remember reading this thing somewhere that we hate to live in the uncomfortableness, and I totally agree with that. Like that's something that I feel so strong about our society is that we hate being uncomfortable. Which honestly, you gotta live in the uncomfortable to freaking grow. Like I don't know what else to tell you.
true that. But yeah, I think all in all, to say, episode 4 did have a lot of those themes to it, and again, the show does a great job of making the audience feel very uncomfortable. Because going back to previous episodes about the squid, that whole scene in exchange, that was really uncomfortable. Now episode 4, there's other sexual assault and all that stuff too. So yeah, and I think episode 4 ends with the actual explosion, right? So then like the final scene of the movie, they're trying to recreate like a bombing of some sort. Again, is that a trigger word?
I think it's the fall of Saigon they were trying to create.
Yeah, anyway, but the general is like at his mother's funeral, kind of, yearning that a little bit. And the last scene is like the actual, well, no, the general interrupts the of the actress and the crazy ass actor, like Rambo guy. And then he gets pretty much like fired from the production crew because the general is technically a Vietnamese consultant. He gets fired. He goes to his mother's memorial. They do the bomb scene, and he's flying in midair because he's actually in the midst of the actual explosion. And that's the end of episode 4, I think. Yeah.
I feel like we should be doing recaps of the episode. Because I feel like if you're listening to this, you probably don't want spoilers, and also you probably already watched the thing. So I feel like we're just like reiterating.
Wait, so these spoiler alerts too?
Which we're also just reiterating what they're just seeing. We should be talking about how we feel about the episode. Honestly, watching that episode, it was such like it made me uncomfortable, but it was good that it made me uncomfortable because it also told me a lot about, like, it explained a lot about our heritage, but also about our family too, if you think about it.
I mean,
because I think the whole R word scene is they were trying to recreate how like American soldiers would come into like during the Vietnam War and like basically harass and assault these women, and then that's why like a bunch of like I don't like like mixed kids were born, the My Lai massacre. So I feel like that's a really good contribution to that history.
Yeah, which I mean. They talk a little bit about the whole like My Lai stuff. Well, I mean the general, he's mixed, so there's themes of that throughout the rest of the episodes. Like what's his mother's quote? Because there's like a flashback scene when he was a kid.
You're twice of everything.
Yeah.
And there was this one scene where he was getting bullied on the playgrounds by like the other kids, and they were calling him like something 13 my bad loaded whatever. And mom would told me, because our mom's mixed, mom would always tell me how when she was going to kindergarten, when she stopped going to school, is because she used to get bullied, and she always heard that saying.
What was the saying?
It was like "muy ba loaded," something like that. "My lai, muy ba loaded," something like that.
My ba. My
lai, muy ba loaded.
My ba. Why? What does the 13 have to do with anything?
13. I don't know. It's like a.
Well, the translation is 13 something butt.
It's like 13 buttholes. Something
That's
like
weird.
that. But it's like it was a saying though, and mom would
Yeah.
tell me how she used to be saying that she used to be called that too. So it was just like watching that unfold. Like I can only imagine what our mother went through when she was going to school.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure
Well, she never went to school, did she?
she went for a little bit, and then she got bullied, and also it was too expensive, so she couldn't go back.
Yeah.
So yeah, but then also it was just like I like the interpretation. To me, it kind of felt more close to home because I liked how the main character was mixed, because I felt like I was also like,
Yeah. I mean, all in all, like if they would have done the main character mix, but like more like instead of a French mix, it was like an African mix, then dang, that would have hit home with us even further.
Yeah, that would hit home really good.
Yeah.
But then also, Lang. I love her character for some reason. She's like, I don't know. I just love her character so much. But it was also so how like you watching like these Vietnamese people just want to like act and stuff like that, and then the white people, American people are like taking advantage of that. It was kind of sad.
Yeah.
It was really sad. They did a really good job depicting like the racism aspect of it too.
Yeah, it was subtle, which, I mean, at least I guess racism against Asians, usually it is a little bit more subtle, maybe,
Yeah.
compared to others. Maybe that's just a generalization, but yeah, you're right. It's just super, like, undertones of racism, microaggressions.
Yes.
A
Oh
lot
my
of
God.
that.
I learned that word
Yeah.
over the weekend.
Just this weekend you learned that word.
I didn't know what microaggression.
I
didn't know
remember
the terminology for it.
I
Until, like,
remember
over
when
the weekend.
when you invited me to do that AAPI speaking thing.
Mm-hmm.
One of your classmates asked me about that. She asked me, "Hey, how do you handle microaggressions?" That question still sticks. Like, I still remember that question so vividly because.
You should have been at my orientation because that was also the question that was asked.
Yeah. Do you remember my response to that question?
No, I don't.
Well, what I said was very politically correct because your teacher was in the room. But anyway, I was
What's
also
that
trying
supposed to mean?
I was also trying to challenge myself to to kind of speak in a way where, okay, what my response to that question was like, hey, the question was, how do you handle microaggressions? My response to that question was, when I was younger, like 18 or younger, maybe probably my early 20s, I was always like reciprocal to the interaction, right? So if there was microaggressions against me, then I would like be reciprocal to that.
What does being reciprocal does that mean?
Like being a mirror. Like I would just respond the same. So if someone was like racist towards me or someone like made some comment towards me or just like disrespected me,
Mm-hmm.
I would always be, well, I'm going to do the same to you,
Oh,
kind
okay.
of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. But nowadays, I think now that I'm in my 30s, I'm a little bit more aware, or I guess the thing I'm trying to figure out is like, how do we just coexist? Like, you do you, I do me. How do we just coexist? And I think that was my response, because really what I've learned is like, if you do be extremely reciprocal and be that mirror, you don't really accomplish anything. And if there is conflict, again, no one's minds really change. Your stereotypes still exist. So I always try to find not so much like a middle ground, but just how do we coexist? Yeah, that was my response to that microaggression.
Yeah. I had this conversation with someone like a couple months ago. I mean, okay, I'm pretty open-minded. Like I honestly think that being open-minded is a really good skill to have too, because it's just like our world and our society is constantly evolving. Like you're constantly going to have to be open-minded in order to coexist in this world. With like either that's like morals or political, anything like that. But I was having a conversation with someone a couple months ago, and we were talking about like I guess you'll call it acceptance, but like people that are way older than us, like talking like 70s, 80s, 90s, when they grew up, all they kind of knew was racism, you know? You know what I'm trying to say? Like they grew up in a very narrow-minded like region or era. So it's like now whenever, especially when I hear like any racist remarks from like very old people, I kind of just laugh it off, or I just don't really take it to heart, because I'm just like, you grew up in a different generation than I did. You grew up not in a very educated like environment as I did. People who are my age that says racist remarks, I mean, I used to check them, but now I just kind of like playing the game of, can I try to make you look stupid by saying that? But I don't know. I feel like,
making other people feel uncomfortable.
yeah, because it's
Yeah.
just like if someone were to be racist towards me, I would like respond of like, why would you say something like that? Or like, can you explain or like go farther more into why you think that? Because here's the thing about people that I've learned about that say microaggression or like racism stuff, is when you do ask them why they say something like that, their response is always the most hilarious thing. They don't know. They really
Right.
don't. So
Yeah.
then it's just like, you know.
Well, that reminds me, I saw something on X. It was like a tweet, and it was actually more about women in the workplace, of like men making like inappropriate jokes, but then the sentiment of the tweet was like, typically or generally, like the women or the recipient will just laugh it off, but laughing it off will kind of give the impression that of acceptance. It's like, oh, it is a funny joke. But the alternative is, instead of laughing it off, it could be like, I don't get the joke. Can you explain the joke to me? And typically when you say, can you explain the joke to me? Then the person that sent the message, they fall flat. Like you said, like they can't, it's not a joke because there's really nothing funny about it. Or they trying to explain what's so funny, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like the best way to deal with microaggressions sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I know that's the thing too. Like in our episode with our guest a couple of weeks ago, maybe that was a month ago now, we're talking about just like the Asian model minority or whatever. And I am guilty of that all the time. Like I'm always just like smiling, always saying yes, always like not being in someone's way, just being in with the flow. But yeah, sometimes I gotta check myself because that just kind of maybe encourages an environment of just like bullshit.
I like to think, walk into a room of confidence and you'll be treated with confidence. That's just my thing.
Man. Anyway, episode 5. Okay, so episode 5, we're already like halfway through the entire season, which, by the way, I did not know that was the end of the season. I hope they make another season.
I honestly don't think so. The way they ended the season, I was like, I feel like it's a good settling.
Yeah, you're right.
I really can't see another season coming out of that.
Yeah, because the last episode, it was just like, it kind of, there was conclusion.
Yeah.
But it was like, well, I don't know. I've never read the book. And there's 2 books. So maybe there will be another season.
Oh, who knows? But episode 5 was just basically he got hurt. So now he's coming back from the whole Hamlet thing. And he's finding out that Sophia cheated on him.
Oh, yeah, that's right. With the reporter.
With the reporter.
It's not an affair. They weren't married. She was just.
You can still call it an affair.
You couldn't even say he was cheating, really. They weren't like in a.
They were boyfriend girlfriend. It was cheating.
Was it really exclusive though?
Yeah, he legit called her his girlfriend.
Okay, I guess so. Anyway,
and no matter what, that is still cheating.
Okay, all right, cheating, whatever. So the woman, Sandra Oh's character, falls in love, or starts dating the reporter, the other Vietnamese guy, the American Viet guy.
I don't remember anything significant happening in episode 5 though.
Well, isn't that where he kills him?
No.
That was episode 6.
It's episode 6.
Oh. Okay.
I don't really anything that's significant that happened in episode 5. I know episode 5 was just the general was talking about his plan of returning back to Vietnam, the exile troops. I think it was just that. I think episode 5 was just talking about the plan. And then episode 6 was starting to execute the plan.
Yeah.
But episode 6, the captain, do you think he killed the writer out of jealousy, or did he kill the writer out of
knowing too much?
Knowing too much?
Well, actually, there was a scene in that episode, or one of those, where he pretty much tells the writer, what's his name? Sonny. He tells Sonny that he is a spy. He just opens up and just tells him the whole truth.
Isn't that before he killed him?
Yeah, it was right before he killed him, and it was like, oh, now that I told you everything, now I have to kill you. But I think but it's interesting because that plot right there is like, was he opening up to Sonny because he just felt so vulnerable? He had nothing else to lose. Sonny already knows too much. Sonny's on to him.
No, I don't think so.
So might as well just tell him everything and just end it.
Because he came to that meeting with Sonny knowing that he was going to kill Sonny. Like, because he saw Sonny and Sophia making out, and that, like, I think either it was because of jealousy.
Yeah, it's probably.
Or he was trying to plant another seed. Because he was trying to make Sonny say that he was a communist.
He was trying to make Sonny say it?
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't there like in that exchange where he said it, but then Sonny was like, no, you're not.
Well, because the general was, I think, because remember when they went back to the Philippines and they met up Clyde recorded the whole entire conversation, whatever, and Clyde said that they were there for Sonny. So I think something was trying to plant towards Sonny because they had some suspicion about Sonny, which would make sense. He's a reporter. So maybe they had some suspicion about Sonny, and the captain used that as like a target as to kill him.
Yeah.
But Sophia caught on when Sonny was murdered, and Sophia's like, "You are a spy."
Yeah.
Because she planted the captain an alibi.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the police got involved and they tried to interview everyone and see what was going on and all that stuff. I mean, he killed Sonny in his own apartment and everything.
Yeah.
It was kind of crazy. It
Yeah.
was good action.
I do like the
Or
last
good
episode a
thriller.
lot. The last episode was, I do like the way they executed the last episode a lot.
I mean, they revealed the captain's or the captain. Yeah, the captain's friend, his third friend.
the commander.
The commander.
Comrade, whatever.
Yeah.
I did not expect that to be a story, though.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that twist as well.
Mm-hmm.
So while he was part of the war, then they got bombed or something. He just is now like faceless almost, and he has to wear this mask.
Yeah. Well, it looks like he was the comrade, so he was the one like. He was the boss of the encampment
Yeah, he was one of those
education
running it.
camps.
Yeah. So really, the last episode goes flash forward to more present time in the storyline.
Yeah, because we went back to Vietnam, they got captured.
Yeah.
But I liked how I did a little Wikipedia search afterward because I'm a little dumb. So after I was done watching the episode, I went on Wikipedia and explained how the captain, when he was forced to give his confession, he didn't try to please one side. He told his story based on both sides, not taking a side, because he still defined himself as a communist, but he also knows how to make friends of what is called his enemies. He grown to like them.
The captain.
Yeah. So he was talking about that. And then
Wait, there's a Wikipedia for this already?
yeah.
Damn.
They're always so fast with these things. But and then at the end when because even though the comrade, like, they were friends, whatever, he was still putting him through all this torture. And at the end, apparently there's 3 lessons he had to learn. If it was something, I forgot the first 2, but the last one was like about something about like nothing is something in independence. And do you know what I'm trying to say? That
I
last
have
line?
no idea what you're saying. What, one of the songs?
No, what he, like, the comrade was trying to make him learn.
Oh, he was like,
Nothing
What-
is.
yeah, there was like a quote, and it was on the wall. It was like framed, like some motto that was like embossed in some like thing.
It was the
And it was like, what is freedom or what is independence?
nothing. But what was the freaking phrase?
But the answer was nothing.
Yeah, but what was the phrase?
It's like nothing can be more important than independence or something, or nothing can set one to be independent.
Nothing is more precious than independence and freedom.
There you go. It's not, yeah.
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
answer was nothing, because nothing is.
Independence and freedom. Damn.
That's a really powerful line. But then that was when he like the Blood Brothers wasn't anymore. Remember, because like the Mong, he showed his hand, and because of his scars, it was all gone. And so the captain's like, okay, then I guess our promise is gone too. And that's when like he like did a little like swap with the outfits
Yep.
and got bull melt and
Bull
they
melt,
escaped.
And then they
And
escaped.
then that song played, that song that you were passionately liking at the beginning played.
Yeah, isn't that funny how it works? Like when they were playing that song in like episode 1 or whatever, like I just knew like, oh dude,
How psychic of you.
there's just something with that song. And then they played it. That was the last song of the whole freaking show.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it ended, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they got away. So it's kind of like happy ending, right?
I think it was more of a you decide, because you really don't know what happens after that.
Well, it's happy that they freaking got out.
It's happy they got out, but what makes you think they won't get captured?
Yeah.
Overall, I give the show a rating out of 7 out of 10.
7 chopsticks out of 10.
7 out of 10. I liked it a lot. I thought it was really good. I will say there
What
were a
prevented
couple.
it? Yeah, what prevented it
There
from
were
being
a
a 10?
few couple times that like just the Vietnamese was just a little too. I don't know. They must have. The Vietnamese just wasn't I shouldn't say it because I'm not. I'm fluent in Vietnamese, but I can't speak fluently in Vietnamese either. But just like the American accent just kind of made it seem less.
Well, it's probably just like a different dialect.
Maybe, I don't know.
Because, I mean, most of the show
just
was
said
northern,
choppy.
too. Northern and, yeah.
There was no one that was northern.
Well, I guess my critique was the subtitles. But then maybe that's not so much of a critique, but like, remember we were talking about that where there's just some words in the Vietnamese language that doesn't
Yeah, I
directly
really think you
translate.
really can't translate Vietnamese word by word.
Yeah.
It's just a really intricate language, which I like.
Yeah, because like I would read the subtitles and it just didn't really match what they were saying.
Yeah, but then again, I couldn't even think of a better translation for it either, because like there's just some words in Vietnamese that you just really can't translate.
Yeah. I still think my biggest critique is like, why was Sandra Oh playing a freaking Japanese woman?
Yeah.
I still don't understand why. It's like, I understand that it's Asian creators, Asian directors, all this stuff. Sandra Oh is a huge like marquee actress name. She's not Japanese.
But that episode in episode 6, when Captain was trying to like talk to her and he's like, Sophia, and she goes, it's Miss Mori. Oh, I love that. Such a badass thing to say. I love woman.
Yeah.
It was great. It was so great.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought the show was really good. I did like the actress and the actors a lot. I like the plot a lot. I think, yeah.
Oh, my other critique is the lack of food. I know that's really weird, but I've told you this before. It's like, why food is such a big part of our culture. I mean, they had the scene where they're eating at the pho restaurant, they're eating pho, but that's pho. It's like, what about the other dishes? Like, there wasn't any scenes of like a traditional Vietnamese family dinner type thing. Like, that would have been cool. Like, just to have like even like a scene where they're like, I don't know, sitting on the floor and eating like bok choy or like eating just like more like home style food. That I think that would have been something easier. I mean,
I guess.
I don't know anything
but
about
I think
movies,
the more
but, yeah.
I think the more like main importance that they were trying to focus on was like the war and the plot itself. So maybe they weren't. But I guess attention to detail is a really big thing. So I guess I see your point.
Yeah, I just figured that would be like just an easy thing. Maybe it didn't make the cut. Maybe they did have stuff and they didn't make the final cut. But I mean, something like that would have been nice to see. I mean, they did have like cafe soda in like the early episodes. They had pho, they had candy, but that was it, right? They didn't really talk about all the other cuisine.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So there was lack of that. And I don't know. I think going back to what I said earlier, the main character protagonist, the protagonist is mixed, white mix, and I mean, yeah, you check the box there. It's a mixed person, but man, if they would have done like the Me Lai like more, like tapped into that, I think like more of like the African mixed children, the children that like more obvious had like the physical features that they were not like Asian period, like our mom, like tight curly hair and stuff like that. I think that would have been like had more depth into the story. But I could probably see why they used a French father because I mean
more
French.
common.
It's probably more common, and yeah, the French colonization of Vietnam and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the French influence on the food and the culture of it. So yeah, I can see that. But still, I guess at the end of the day, for those who are unfamiliar with the Vietnamese culture, it's just way more layers to it, especially during that time.
There is.
Yeah.
But I was really happy that they did incorporate some Me Lai relevance to it. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the show a lot. I feel like it was also really nice seeing just like a Vietnamese story in Hollywood like that. It was really cool. It was different. Because it is different. You don't really see that in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So my dog is in the living room and she's sniffing everything right now.
You guys,
Hopefully
I feel like every single
doesn't,
time that we record an episode, I'm always so tired and I'm always out of it. But I promise, I'm legit so chatty. Like, I legit always have something to say. I just don't know why. I just don't have any energy to say anything. Let's talk about my orientation last week, okay? Recently, so I'm going off to college in August. I'm going to University of Minnesota, Twin Cities for Carlson. Woot woot, go Gophers. And I had my orientation last week. And for those who know Sioux Falls, it's legit, or just South Dakota in general, it's such a small, like, space. It's nothing like Minneapolis, nothing like the big city. And I was legit the lost new girl in a big city. And I went all by myself. I drove there alone in a big city.
You didn't drive there all by yourself. Don't make it sound like you were all there by yourself.
I was there all by myself, though.
Okay.
That's
like half
okay.
true, but
Well,
whatever.
he drove up with me, but we drove separately. Thank you very much. I was still driving by myself. And you were only there with me for that night, but then the next day I was by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was a great experience. Yeah. Someone told me that I'm not like the typical Minneapolis girl, which I don't know if it's a compliment or a bad thing. I don't know what that means, but I'll take it. Thank you.
Yeah, this came from like a 19-year-old Asian boy that's
Also,
freaking thirsty.
There was I was like followed around by this one like
Okay, we don't maybe we don't disclose that. You could probably listen to this and God.
But it was so fun. Like you guys, it's like I feel like this is such a good. It was such I don't know. The campus is beautiful. I needed that experience. It was great.
Yeah, you're gonna learn so much about yourself. And
Yeah. Plus, like I just got broken up with too, so this is a great thing for me to learn.
Oh my God, here we go.
I'm like all by myself in a new city, single. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Dude, how about you just like focus
I can have a whole entire episode talking about how boys are trash.
How about we talk about things that you want to do with your life? Like,
Yeah.
what are some things you want to do and contribute to society?
Make a TED talk about how boys are trash. There's a differentiate between boys and men. I'll tell you that much. Sadly, we have a lot of boys in this world than men, but that's the point. They'll grow to be men, I'm sure. But yeah.
Damn. What are we going to do with this podcast?
What's that supposed to mean?
Like, I just need some, like, consistency. When I first started this thing, it was every Wednesday, and there's just some
I
type
feel
of
like the
schedule.
consistency first should start off with, you guys don't know this, but he just spent like an hour putting together all this equipment just like legit an hour ago, and it was exhausting to watch. Maybe the consistency should start off with like, I don't know, having a spot where just everything is just ready to go, so then when you want to record an episode, you can just like click, like turn on and woohoo, we're recording.
That's true.
Yeah, so then you're not so tired, and then
having
also
a studio space would be nice.
And then yeah, maybe like a schedule, like organized schedule.
You know what my response
And then
to that?
he's gonna be like, you can do that.
Exactly. My sister knows me so well.
You can do that.
But audience, come on, hear me out. You can do it.
Yeah, I'm sure I can.
No, it's all right. I hear you. It's just, yeah. This podcast has been incredibly hard to do. I think I guess I took it for granted looking back at when I used to do this by myself, that it did require just as much work. Maybe it took more work, and somehow I was able to do it. But now, trying to do it again, it's been challenging.
Well, I feel like because when you first started it, you made it your hobby, and now it's turned more into your job.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be lying to you if I'd be like, "Oh my God, I'm so excited to do the podcast."
Because I read somewhere that once you make your hobby your job, you're less more excited to do it, because then it's just like a routine.
Well, that's just the thing. We've talked about this, where it's like, I started the podcast first to start helping out students to get internships and career stuff, STEM students, and then it turned into the whole Asian diaspora stuff, because at that time in my life I was missing home and family, and I wanted to learn more about my heritage and all that stuff. Now, where I'm at, it's like, it's not like I've lost interest in those previous things, but now it's just trying to figure out, like, what's the motivation here to do this. Not to say that I've done everything I've wanted to do, but I guess sometimes I feel like I paint myself in a box or in a corner, and I don't like being in that position, because I want to talk about tech. I want to talk about crypto. I want to talk about business. I want to talk about real estate. I want to talk about finance. There's so many other things that I could talk about.
Yeah, and you could do that, but I think your worst habit is, especially working with you, I realize that you like everything to not be disorganized. So when you put yourself in a box, you're like, okay, well, I have to stick to this routine thing because that's just how it's done. But I think you forget that we live in a world where you can like still stick to those routine things, but then add your own twist to it and then add your own like ideas to it and not just make it one thing, because all of that can also follow under your whole entire category of Asian diasporas or according to tech students or any of that. It's just how you word it and how you talk about it. You can relate anything to anything.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just how you do it.
Yeah.
You guys, maybe I should change my major to psychology. I think I'd be a really good therapist. Also, yesterday I went bowling. I got invited to I used to work at American Eagle, a little event party thing, and I went bowling and I split my nail in half and now it's like bleeding.
That's gross. How do you split your nail while bowling?
That's a really good question. I don't know, but I legit started bleeding and we got pizza afterwards and I was amazing at bowling.
Okay, all right. Well,
I'm telling you, I'm amazing at bowling.
Dripping blood all over the place.
No, we got pizza afterwards and I got so scared because I was actually dripping blood over the place.
That's disgusting. Wow, that's so gross. Like, people go to bowling to enjoy themselves. They don't want to be surrounded by freaking blood everywhere.
I actually get really competitive when it comes to sports that I'm like somewhat okay with. So yeah.
Maybe that's your life calling. You should be a professional bowler.
No, I just get really competitive about anything. Like, if you tell me I can't do something, I will do it. And I will try to do it 10 times better.
So is that how you want whatever future workplace you work at? That's how you want to be challenged? You want people to tell you that you can't do things?
I mean, it's a good motivation, but like, I like friendly competitions. Friendly competitions are always nice to have.
Yeah.
I like being competitive. Being competitive makes me feel alive.
Makes you feel alive.
Yeah, it makes me feel like I'm like doing something. Yeah.
And
so
is it competition? Also, you're trying to prove to yourself that you can do something, but you're trying to prove to others that you can do it?
Kind of, in a sense, but also like I'm just really stubborn. I feel like that's gonna get me in trouble one day. Like, I'm very, very, that's also just a win thing. I've realized just about our family is that we're very stubborn people. And that's gonna get me in trouble one day. Like, if you tell me not to do something or you tell me to like I can't do something, I will end up doing it anyways. Yeah, I will end up doing it anyways. Whether the consequences are good or bad. It's gonna get me in trouble one day.
Well, yeah, I don't know how to tell you this. I think it's healthy to be competitive. It's very healthy. I mean, it breeds, especially if you want to get into business. Being competitive is actually pretty key. But dang, spending time trying to prove someone wrong, man, you're just trying to. And I'm not saying you're doing this, but I'm just saying from my experience, times where I try to prove someone wrong, I look back and be like, man, I just wasted all that time to just prove someone wrong that they don't even care or they don't even know who I exist. But
the thing is, you can take a healthy approach to that too. Because like, if you're trying to prove someone wrong, but like you're doing it to better yourself, then like I think that it like goes both ways. Because then like, you're bettering yourself, so you're benefiting yourself. And if it ends up like kind of hurting their ego a little bit, then yay. But if it doesn't, you're still bettering yourself, so it doesn't hurt anything. Exactly. I have a really good analogy for that to use the comparison right now, but I'm not going to do it because it's mean, so I'm not going to say it.
Just say it.
Like, you could think of like a friendly competition. Like, for example, like me going bowling yesterday. Like, I kind of got a little cocky because I'm like, I like bowling. It was fun. But then like it can be another like unhealthy thing. For example, so.
Oh gosh, here we go. Here
so
we go.
I just got through a breakup, right?
Oh god, I didn't know it was gonna take this turn. Freaking Christ, dude.
But here's the analogy.
My god.
Where's my stubbornness is gonna get me in trouble. I just got through a breakup, right? But I also had a routine before I met this guy. So just because we broken up, I'm still gonna stick to my routine. So I'm still stubborn. I was like, I'm not changing where I go to the gym. I'm not changing where I go to church or spend my days doing whatever. And like, it's like, cause I'm still bettering myself, like going to the gym, being healthy, whatever. If I run into him, oops, too bad. But I'm still going to do those things because it makes me feel good. So it's like, it's one of those analogy. Like you're like, it's like a two-way thing, you know? It's like I'm bettering myself at the end of the day. If I'm going to the gym, staying active. If it hurts his ego, too bad. I don't know. I'm not changing my spot where I'm going to the gym. You change your spot. Also, it's like I didn't do anything wrong, so boo-hoo. I don't know. You guys. I'm gonna be so successful one day.
I hope you don't lose that confidence.
That mentality is actually a really good mentality to have. When you just like focus on yourself, it's a really good thing. Also, I had a really good conversation with my girls yesterday night, where they like basically checked me. They said that they don't think that I need to learn how to spend more one-on-one time by myself and enjoy my own company, which is a
Yeah.
really good self-evaluation, because I do need to do that. I suck at doing that. I get lonely really quick, and then I start trying to find ways to not keep me lonely, and that's not healthy. That's not healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually really like my alone time.
Yeah, I don't. I hate it.
I love it.
I hate it.
Well, that's just the thing too. I mean, when I was 18, I think I felt that too, where it's like I need to be stimulated, and man, there's just a whole world out there that I haven't seen. But not to say that I've seen everything, but dang, I just like that. Here's the thing: like when people say, "Oh, I want to travel, I want to work remote, I want to just be like this digital nomad," like, hey, not knocking on that lifestyle, but I know for a fact that's not the lifestyle I want, because yeah, I've traveled before. And I think traveling is actually a little bit, it's even more lonely, because you're in an entirely new environment. And if you're traveling by yourself, you don't know anyone. You look around, you see people, their families and friends having a blast, while you just do some touristy thing and go back to your hotel and rot. But it's like I don't want to travel. Like if I'm going to travel, it needs to have some purpose. Like whether it's for business or there's someone there I'm trying to meet. Like, and it goes back to like the whole like traveling and tourism versus like meeting at the locals and understanding the local spots. Like I'm just so like there's just so much garbage out there, and like I just don't want anything to do with it. So like I find my peace like just most of the time just being like indoors.
That's
And
sad.
it's just that's not sad. That's not sad, because I think what I've broken through, and I'm still working on it, is like I'm happy with being by myself.
No, that's good. That's really good.
Yeah.
No, so I have my best friend McKenna. She's like, I've been friends with her since like the third grade, but she kept me in check last night because I was basically like, you know how girls' nights go. Like you're sitting there, all three of you, talking about your
Yeah,
life.
I
and
know
just,
exactly
like,
how girls' nights
well,
goes.
like how it
Who are you
goes.
talking to, bro?
Well, it's just like, you know, like for the girls that are listening to this, you know how it goes. You're sitting there, you're talking
Actually,
about your
I'm
life
curious. How many
problems.
girls or women listen to this podcast?
Anyways,
Probably
you're
a
listening
very
to
low
like
percentage.
you guys are listening to your ranting, you're talking about your life problem, whatever. And there was one point, like, oh my god, I've there's just one thing I hate is I hate being desperate. But I was just this yesterday night, I was talking about how I was just saying how like I feel like my last relationship, like he was such a picture perfect guy. I feel like I'm never gonna meet a guy like that, and he was like so out of my league.
Oh my
And then
gosh,
here's the
that's
thing:
so
my
disgusting.
friend McKenna, she checked me, and she goes, "Girl, no one ever thought that he was out of your league. Everyone thought that you were out of his league." And then she was telling me how like the law of attraction, you know, like you attract what you think you deserve. So if you think you deserve scumbags out of nowhere trash holes, then you're going to attract scumbags out of nowhere trash holes. But if you think you deserve a peaceful life, like a better life, a better person in your life, you're going to attract those things because you are telling yourself that you deserve these things and you should be getting these things. So she told me like that's one thing she told me, like change my way of thinking. But also she told me how like I need to learn how to spend quality time myself and like being by myself, because not only does that reflect in my relationship with people, but it also reflects in like my self-worth and myself too. Which honestly, it was kind of humbling to hear that I wasn't doing so well on that. Cause like deep down I know that. But hearing it from someone else that's like close to me, it's like, oh shit, okay, well you see that too? Then I probably should fix that.
Yeah, I was just having this conversation with someone, and she mentioned like one of her best friends was just pretty much checked her and be like, her best friend just asked her, is like, hey, do you know that you do that? And it could be something very simple. I think in this case, this person like had this tendency to always like interrupt someone while they're talking, or always try to think of like the next step, and very kind of like spiral thinking. But then her best friend just paused him and said it nicely. Hey, do you know that you do that? And it didn't occur to this person that they did have that habit or tendency. And yeah, I think we all have that, and I think that's awesome that you have friends to call you out on those things, because when you don't have that and you think you have real friends or other friends, and they're always like, oh yeah, that's a good idea, or like they're always like yes men, You know, like they're always saying like, yeah, 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 like go you, like it's sometimes you don't. They're like just leading you on, and then you guys take a step back and you have to ask yourself, why are they leading you on? Is it because it's to their benefit for something? Is it because they don't care? Is it because they just know if they agree to everything you say, it just shuts you up? They don't want to fight with you because every time they fight with you, it gets nasty or something like that. It doesn't go anywhere. Like those are always just like things that I'm even aware of now. But yeah, having people to effectively call you out on your bullshit is always helpful.
Yeah.
Because even sometimes family doesn't even do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So having productive conversations and I guess being comfortable with conflict too.
Yeah. That's what I'm
Is
saying. Like,
a
we need to be
good
more
trait.
comfortable in the uncomfortable. Or, like, me too. How my habit is, or, like, she's been friends with me so long, so she knows this. So she usually just, like, I'm really impulsive sometimes, and she just lets me act through my impulsiveness. Like, she lets me do it, figure it out myself. And then, like, when I'm, like, in that rut of, like, oh, shit, I fricked up, then she'll tell me what she's been thinking about the whole entire time, and then she'll tell me like what, like, you know, it's like you need friends like that. Like they know what you're like, but they know that you can learn from it yourself, so they let you do it, but they are in the backhand and they're always ready to support you wherever that direction goes.
Yeah.
I have really good friends. I love her.
Oh, hey, I mean that's awesome that you have those people in your life. I think that's the thing. It's like going back to what you were saying about people, including us. Sometimes we're not comfortable with ourselves. I think it would be even more lonely if we didn't have friends or like a support group for
Yeah.
times that we do need help or times that we do need some uh, attention or some environment. We have that to go to.
Yeah. I
For
agree.
those that don't have that, I mean I think that's my definition of like, okay, that sucks to be alone.
Yeah.
That sucks to be alone when you don't have anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. But I
Oh
don't
my
know.
god, you guys! I got flipped off this morning while driving.
I'm not surprised
Someone
you drive
flipped
like
me
a
off.
freaking.
No, it was because they weren't driving the speed limit. So I was okay. I'm the person that rides your ass if you don't drive fast enough.
Yeah, that's extremely annoying, dude.
It's
like,
not okay. The speed limit is 30, so go 30. Don't be going 20 or 25. It's
just
30,
go
so
with
go
the traffic
30.
or just pass them.
I can't because it's like a residential area. But at the same time, so yeah, I was kind of following close to them.
You do realize
But
sometimes when people notice that someone is like on their ass, they actually drive slower to piss you off.
well, it was working
People do
because
that.
I got so mad, and then as the person was making a signal to go right, he like turned, and as he was turning, he flipped me off, and I was like,
Yeah,
"It's
because you're
not
probably-
my fault. You're going way too slow."
Okay, coming from the girl that got a freaking speeding ticket.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
It's
I'm calling you
different.
out on
I
your
wanted
bullshit right now.
Smoothie.
Yeah. It's like, dude, just chill. You're gonna get to point A from point B. Unless you literally have somewhere to go, then yeah, maybe there's time and
I
place
did
for that.
have somewhere to go. The coffee shop.
No, that's first world problems, dude. Seriously.
You guys, I got a speeding ticket. I was
Because that is super annoying when I'm going the speed limit and someone's just trailing like on my ass. That's
well, okay.
super
If
freaking
you're
annoying.
going the speed limit, I understand that. But if you're not going the speed limit, come on. You're like it was a 30. They were probably going like a 25, 20, and like that. You can speed up a little bit more.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm telling you is you being on someone's ass does not make him want to go faster, is what I'm saying. More than likely, they will go slower, is what I'm saying.
Still.
Wait until the day, and I hope this never happens to you, but wait until the day
They
someone
brake
just
check
freaking,
me?
yeah, brake checks you to get that insurance claim. And then you, at the end of the day, you lose. You don't go to the insurance company, like, well, they weren't driving the speed limit. You don't go to the cop, you're like, well, they weren't driving the speed limit. Dude, no one's going to listen to you. Like, seriously. Like, that's what I was talking about earlier about microaggressions. When I was younger, I tried to confront the opposing energy with, yeah, reciprocal energy. Now, I'm trying to be like, how do we coexist? So in that scenario, if someone's going freaking slow, I'm not going to be on their ass. I'm going to give them the space, and I'm just going to slow down too. This is how I'm coexisting with this freaking slow-ass driver on this single-lane road. Because eventually, they won't be in front of me, and I can do whatever the hell I want. It's okay. It's okay.
I really appreciate the guy that flipped me off this morning. That was really funny. That made me laugh. That was a great start to my day. Yeah. It was so funny too. I saw that and I was like, oh wow, okay. That was great.
Yeah. So yeah, after this podcast,
I'm taking a nap.
so this week we're gonna be publishing James' podcast. Special guest that we have. I am going to say this recorded. We're gonna try to get this episode out next week. This week we're doing James. Next week let's try to get this out.
Okay.
And guess who's gonna be in
Oh my
charge
God.
of editing the video now?
I did the last one.
Dude, you are learning new skill sets that might be valuable to you down the road. You never know. If you ever want to do your own thing, there you go. This is good. My sister, Duyen over here, has now learned how to edit audio podcasting. She knows how to do an intro and all that stuff, and knows how to cut. That's freaking awesome.
You
Next
know also
thing,
how weird it is?
next thing,
Everyone's
she's
calling
gonna learn
you.
how to do video.
I haven't heard the name Yang in so long. I just realized that. It's so long. I mean, like 3 weeks.
Yeah, I know. I'm checking
Everyone's
myself
been calling
too.
me Ying.
Yeah, I'm checking myself too, and I'm your freaking older brother.
That is so crazy. For those who don't know, I've been going by Yang for like the last 18 years of my life, and then it was until like this summer or whatever. I was like, I'm going to a different city in like 3 months. I want people to actually say my name correctly. So now I haven't heard the name Yang in a while. All I've heard is Ying. I'm kind of getting used to it.
Oh, what's the name your mother and father gave you?
Yeah, I mean, my family's always called me Ying, but like friends or whatever, just people I meet now, I just introduce myself as Ying. It's
Might
that
as well
simple.
start now. Don't be like me, 30 years old, and I still go by freaking Tune.
Yeah, I don't know. Or like when I went to orientation too, like there's a lot of people that were like, how do you say, like they kept asking me, and like if that was me like years ago, I would be like, oh, it's just Yang, like yin yang. But now I actually like correct them, like it's Ewing, and they keep asking me like ask me how to say it. I'm like it's Ewing, like think of it as like the D and the U and like just like like yeah. I just explain to them and they get it. Eventually they get it.
Yeah, I
Just
think
be patient with people.
Yeah, if you give people the time, they will figure it out. And a lot of people, including myself, need repetition and all that stuff.
Yeah, and people will just like, yeah, or like when people like say hi to me, they're like, hi, Ewing, and I'm like, oh my God, it sounds so good hearing my name.
Yeah. Because, I mean, our names, Vietnamese names are challenging, but there's other names out there that are freaking more challenging.
Mm-hmm.
Like the names with like 25 characters or something. Like, that's even more challenging. So, we don't really have it that bad, honestly.
Yeah.
We really don't.
Ewing. And also it's one syllable. Ewing. It's not that hard.
Doing.
Ewing. Or I guess like some people want like, I mean, I say it fast. So some people like say it like
Well, you talk fast.
Well, some people say like Ewing or Ewing. It's just Ewing.
How would you spell that phonetically?
Ewing. I don't even know. I've been doing like YU-WEAN. Ewing. It's like you wrap the D around the U and make like a U sound, and then Ewing.
Yeah.
Ewing.
There's also like that NG sound. I know you don't have a G in your name, but that ing, that tonal.
Our last name.
Yeah. I read somewhere where the best analogy I can come up with is in English the word song. NG. It's the same pronunciation, same tone. Song. It's the same thing. If there's an NG, it's the same thing with our names. Wing.
Yeah. Ewing Ham Wing.
Yeah.
Zwing Ham Wen.
Yeah.
I like my name. Getting more appreciative of it. I also realize how homesick I'm gonna be when I go to college. I've been so nice to mom and dad.
That's a first.
It's crazy. I bought dad candy the other day.
That's a first. And she got me a Red Bull. Wow, she's finally realizing that she's leaving.
It's so funny. Yeah.
Dude.
The homesick is gonna settle in real quick.
Yeah. I don't know what to say. I think you got it in you. You'll make it through.
Yeah, someone also told me to keep a gun.
But honestly, again, going back to this whole proving others wrong and all that stuff, it's like just do you.
I am doing me.
be comfortable.
I think the best revenge
And,
is doing you.
Yeah, and this whole college thing, you know my stance on it. Wait, do you?
I don't know.
It's just like, dude, college is just college.
Yeah.
You don't have you. College doesn't make you successful. It's not a requirement for success. It's not a requirement for happiness. It's not a requirement for intelligence. It's not a requirement for any of that stuff. It just
Oh.
it just buys you into shit. And I think that's the end of the podcast. The camera
Yeah.
just turned off.
Bye.